Hey guys, it's TF Nut. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Marvel Legends series, Walgreens exclusive Silver Centurion Iron Man. So my local Walgreens near me have been really frustrating me lately because they just aren't stocking any of the exclusives that I'm looking for. This guy included and a few others. They really only have Iron Man 2020, and they have too many of those figures. I was traveling for my job recently, and I did stumble across this figure when I had to make a stop out of Walgreens. So this is the only one they had. I decided to go ahead and pick it up. It's a little bit of a damaged packaging. Not super bad though. I'm going to be taking it out of the box and playing around with it. So it's not really going to matter to me. This is one of my more favorite looks for Iron Man. I'm going to try to find my Toy Biz Silver Centurion Iron Man and bring him out to try to do some comparisons. But I cannot find him right now. So there isn't any guarantee that I'm going to be doing that in this video. But let's just go ahead and talk about the packaging because I really want to take it out. On the front here, you can see where it says Marvel Legends Series. It's really just says Legends Series. And then the figure in the box with all the contents right there, looking really nice. And a really nice backdrop, too. When we look towards the bottom of the packaging, it just says Marvel and Iron Man, and the Hasbro logo. We'll look on the sides of the packaging. It's a really nice colored image of the Silver Centurion Iron Man, and it is reflected on both sides. And again, that's just really well done. The top flap here, you can see just an Iron Man logo. There's a little bit of a blank area where there is usually where it says what Build-A-Figure series this is from. Since it's a Walgreens exclusive, it doesn't come with a Build-A-Figure. You can see the warning and ages 4 and up right there. On the back of the packaging, we have a nice image of the figure right there. Then we have a read-up right there if you want to pause and read that right now. When we look towards the bottom, it has multilingual read-ups for Iron Man. And then we have some other stuff there, as you can see. And we look on the very bottom of the packaging, there really isn't much going on except a barcode in case you need that. So let's go ahead and take this figure out. So here's the figure out of the packaging, and at first when I took it out of the box, I thought it was okay. I wasn't having that much fun with it, but as I kept playing around with it for a little bit longer, I started to have a little bit more fun with this figure. So let's go ahead and take a look at all the accessories that he comes with, which is a good amount of stuff, and then we'll take a closer look at the figure. So he actually comes with a really good amount of accessories. We have different repulsor effects. We have a couple of alternate hands. And as you can see here, he came packaged with these hands. These are the repulsor hands, which have a nice peg hole in there for repulsor effects. You can see some of the nice ridges and lines going on the hands. Some of these parts do look smooth. I do believe that's supposed to be accurate. Here's what the back of the hand looks like with these details. Now these hands are different from the 80th anniversary Iron Man. Very, very similar sculpt. I believe they somewhat share the same mold. They could be similar, but with these different details, of course, they are different. So they're not completely the same. We also get these fists, and these fists are done really well. They have the same thing going on with the back of the hand there. I really dig that. Here is the front there. I wish the repulsors in the hands were painted, but that's okay. These are also different, as you can see, from the 80th anniversary. This is painted here, but it's not here, so that is a little disappointing. It's a little bit more glossy here this time around. We have these repulsor effects, which we've seen these, I believe, with the 80th Iron Man. These are just completely yellow translucent. That last time, I believe there was some yellow shading in those. These are cool. These are more for the feet. It looks like you could plug in some effects pieces, but the sculpting on here, they're the exact same. It's really nice. They do have sculpting on the back here and these peg holes. I believe you could also put these in the hands. I'll show that off towards the end of the video with the images I usually show at the end. There's these separate repulsors I thought you were supposed to plug in there, but these are actually the exact same as these, just without this little piece surrounding it. So you can't really actually stick these smaller repulsor blasts in here all the way because there's going to be a gap in there. And again, he comes with 2 of these. These are really warped, so that's a little unfortunate. I'll have to heat these up later. But again, just completely yellow translucent and the exact same, just without this little piece here. Which this is removable. You could swap these if you wanted to. As you can see, it's very easy. And again, he comes with 2 of these. So pretty much 2 of each repulsor effect we have for comic Iron Man figures. And honestly, pretty well done. I do wish we got those those new flame effects or whatever for the boost that came with War Machine and the Iron Man 2020 figure, but these also work just fine. So here's just a quick 360 look. This is really nice. Originally, I thought this was sharing the same mold as the 80th anniversary Iron Man. There are most definitely differences. I think these lower ab pieces that are connected to the waist and the ab crunch are reused. Everything else, I think the upper thighs and maybe the legs right here where the hips are, I think the knees are also reused. I thought the arms were reused, but the biceps are actually different, as you can see right there. You know what? Are they? Yeah, they are. They are, because you can see this groove right here in that bicep, and it's not there. Everything else is different. Even the boots, the feet, they are not the same. There's more edged, not really edged, but squared off. These are more pointed. So, yeah, at least, I honestly would have been fine if this was any reuse, but they didn't give us that much reuse, which is cool. What I'm not the biggest fan of is when it comes to the head, it is all one piece. You can see here, usually it's actually part of the sculpt, and then, of course, a hinge and a ball joint at the hinge. Now it's all one piece. This will not allow you to... I'm not even going to do it on camera because it's just going to look ugly. This is not going to allow you to do interchangeable parts like this head right here. And that's disappointing. I think I know what they were trying to go for. You see, this backpack piece would have gotten in the way of articulation either way. So I think that they were just thinking of doing one entire piece. One good thing about this is that, you know, it will move around. You can do nice head tilts and gives you more attitude in the figure and more dynamic posing. At the same time, some of the articulation, like the back, isn't as good as it would be on the 80th. But the details are still there. It still looks really nice in the face. I really like how the white came out. The black in the mouth is really well done, and the silver around the face is extremely clean. I have problems with the red overall on this figure. I feel like it just looks kind of cheap. It doesn't look horrible, but I don't know how I feel. Some parts of the red I think are different. Like the shoulder pads, I think the head might be... It's easier to see it in person. These look like a slightly different type of plastic or color than what we have in the chest, arms, and lower torso. I don't know how I feel. There's just, with the red, it kind of has this pearlized effect we get with Iron Man figures in the past, and to me, it just doesn't look the greatest. The arc reactor is awesome, though, in the chest, and I like how they did this system with the shoulder pads. These shoulder pads are really cool, and they don't get in the way of articulation. This backpack piece, or whatever this is supposed to be, is also really well done. The abs have some nice muscles to them, even in the pecs and all that. Got some nice muscles in the arms. These cuffs are pretty cool. We looked at these hands already. There's the crotch piece, as you can see. There's even, it looks like some divots in the back right there, as you can see. Now, that serial printing is not the greatest. Some of the silver is starting to chip off somehow right here on the upper thigh. As you can see, that's not great. But what they did extremely well is everything silver. They did such a good job. I don't know if this is painted or molded in a type of plastic, but this silver came out extremely well. They could have easily molded it in some kind of almost shiny gray that looks really bad when they want to do metallic stuff but want to cheap out, but this actually looks metallic. Look at that shimmers. That's just awesome. These boots are nicely sculpted. I dig that a lot. So these are really clean. They don't have a thigh swivel or a calf swivel, unfortunately, but again, the feet came out pretty clean. They have some nice lines sculpted in there, and then that's what the bottom of the feet look like. So overall, the detailing is really good, and the articulation is pretty well done, even though it's a little bit hindered with some of the new stuff they got. So there is a ball peg that goes into the chest and goes up into the head. I don't know if I'm even focused at all. So it will side to side like this. Back is not the greatest, but it's not horrible. Forward's pretty good. It will also rotate. So that's a lot of nice range of motion in the head. These shoulder pads move along with the arms, so they don't get in the way of articulation, and they go in and out. Upper arm swivel. The cuffs right here just kind of get in the way of the double jointed elbow, but it is there, of course. Swivel at the wrist as well as a hinge at the wrist for the fists. There is only a swivel at the repulsor hands. I don't really like how they do that, but that's fine for now. We do have an ab crunch that is actually really good. Waist twist, legs can go forward, which they want to go out this way, so you get a little bit of a better kick. In and out, upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees, bend at the foot, as well as an ankle rocker. So to quickly compare the new Silver Centurion figure from Hasbro Marvel Legends to the previous Toy Biz Marvel Legends Silver Centurion Iron Man, the differences are night and day. Definitely in the sculpt and wet paints being used. I think the paint is much better on the previous Toy Biz one. I think some of the sculpting also is a little bit better. However, the proportions are kind of off on the previous Toy Biz figures, especially with the Iron Man figures. It's not horrible, but I think the arms just look a little too long. I mean, overall, it just kind of looks too big in certain muscles. Like the arms look really big. It looks more natural to me with the Hasbro one. Again, paint is much better with an actual wash in certain areas and really nice silver details. And sculpting in the boots, chest, head sculpt, the head sculpt underneath, the hands just is better, I think, overall. Now, you can't really get him into punching poses like the new one, just because he comes with alternate hands. You can really only get the previous Toy Biz one with, repulsor hands, because those hands are flat, even though he has hinged hands. They don't really make a fist. Some of the articulation is a little bit weird on the previous one, like the way that they sort of did the butterfly joint, and mostly just goes forward and back. To me, that was always very sensitive, and I felt like that would have broke on me. But overall, I think both are still very solid. Me personally, just because I have more Hasbro Marvel Legends now, I will be sticking with the Silver Centurion figure, but I'm still going to keep the Toy Biz one because I have a lot of sentimental feelings about that figure. It is still a really nice figure in my collection. I'm still happy to have it. I just wish that the new one had some way of doing the Tony Stark head like the previous one. That would have been a really great callback and homage to the Toy Biz one. So for some size comparisons, on the left we have the 80th anniversary classic Iron Man. On the right we have that new War Machine figure that came out this year, which I still need to review because I really like that figure. And then we have on the left the Game Reverse Iron Man. That's the retail version from the Abomination series. And on the right we have the Target exclusive Star Boost Armor Iron Man. And then on the left we have the new Retro Wave Spider-Man figure. On the right we have the 80th anniversary Captain America. And then last but not least, on the left, we have the Marvel Legends Stan Lee. And on the right, we have the new movie Deadpool. So to end this review, I'm going to show you what this figure looks like with some of his effects pieces and alternate accessories. And I'll also show you what this figure looks like with other Marvel Legends figures. I forgot that some of these effects pieces can be combined, mostly the regular effects pieces that have the removable piece on there and the wider ones. Those were combinable when you also got the 80th anniversary Iron Man as well. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with this figure. Originally seeing the promotional images for this, I wasn't super hyped, but having it in hand, it's just really well done. Definitely could have done things differently with this. I do wish we had the more traditional head articulation system where it was just a sculpted piece with a hinge and a ball system there. I'm not really the biggest fan of the double neck peg, but it gets the range of motion that you want. I mostly just wanted it so you could actually, use the alternate heads, because you really can't for any Tony Stark figures for this guy. But where there is silver on this guy, it is super clean. Some of the red could be a little bit better, but he does also come with a really good amount of accessories. Detail is really well done on this guy, and articulation is really great as always. I really do recommend picking up this figure if you can find it. It is a Walgreens exclusive for a little bit over $20. It's going to be including tax, of course. Just good luck. Seriously, this is the one Walgreens exclusive, this and Moon Knight, I've had trouble finding. I never even found Moon Knight in stores. I got lucky finding this one in stores. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends, and I will see you guys later.